Alright, well, I'm recording. I'm just gonna turn off this mouse. So, I wrote on this piece of paper the goal of this video. You know, it's called The Difference Between Me and You. I never really try to explain it like just the difference between me and you. But that's always what it seems to be. Like, I was asking myself, like, what the fuck is wrong with all these bitches out here? Okay, one thing that's coming to mind has to do with this mouse pad. This mouse pad I got from do I have audio at the moment? I think I should. Anyway, yeah, I got this mouse pad from a place called the it's a Banner Health Academy for kids who have a little bit of trouble existing. You know, it's kind of disappointing. Kids should have trouble with that shit. Like, god damn, what? Just come up. There has to be a solution for that kind of thing. But what the fuck kind of kid has trouble existing? I have trouble existing sometimes. You know, I follow TED Talks on Twitter, and they say depression is not the lack of will to feel the need to connect. It's the inability. And, you know, having trouble existing, they're all like, oh, I just want to kill myself. And they eventually really mean that. And then, you know, if they don't realize, like, oh, nobody likes me anyway, I'm going to kill myself, and they do kill themselves, that's a big loss right there. And if they realize, like, hey, I'm getting a lot of free Abilify and Geodon and Seroquel because I am depressed. Maybe one day I can get oxycodone or something weird like that. And if they don't realize the two bad things, the free drugs and the serious want to kill themselves, they realize, like, hey, that's not okay. Then again, you know, depression is like the inability to connect with others, even though you want to. You know? I have the inability to see 20 feet in front of me, but I have fucking health, alright? You know, I got prosthetics. This is pretty much a drug in terms of what constitutes a drug nowadays, like. But anyway, the difference between me and you. Everybody is a different person. Everybody gets their own bullshit up in here. And they just want to do something like speak it, live it, write it down, tell people about it. You know, I just have no choice but to tell myself because I'm alone here. I've been severely depressed many times in my life. I've experienced the severe inability to connect with other people. And that felt like shit, but, you know, it's like, how am I gonna care if I've never really felt what it's really like to care for somebody? You know, the people I've always ended up caring for, I would go like, God, do I hate this person? And I physically hurt them. That was the past. That was something like 10 years ago or so. But, yeah, you know, the kid's doing fine, I assume. Since he's moved away and he's forgotten about me. He's just, you know, that's you know, the difference between me and that guy that I hurt physically. I fucked around with his sister. You know? I sometimes beat up his little brothers. I'm not afraid to admit that, and I'm not disappointed that I did that, because it's the past. If there is a such thing as regret, it shouldn't be it shouldn't be called something that you should feel. Don't you feel any regret? No, I don't. It should be regarded as a detrimental, useless feeling. Like, oh, I feel bad about what I cannot change, I never felt bad about it after I did it. I did feel bad about the consequences, but no, I don't feel bad about having done what I did. Let's say you go and you pee on grass that is not, you're not supposed to touch the grass is taken care of, it's got the Miracle Grow, and the guy mowing the lawn, and the guy sitting on the little lawn chair going, $400 million, and he's just going like, say, who's that? Is he taking a whiz on my grass? I say! If you have to pee, you are not going to feel bad about having to pee. You might feel bad about whatever weird rich guy on a lawn chair is getting mad about it, but you're not going to feel bad that you emptied that, because what would you have done? You would have pissed your pants, and walk in that, It's gross. Nobody feels bad about having gone to the bathroom, unless they are afraid of, going to the bathroom, which is weird. The thing is, it's like, I hurt somebody, I go, yeah, I did that deliberately. Even if I didn't do it deliberately, I probably had some sort of action taken. It's all about me, I did that. And then they get hurt and like, oh, well, I guess I'm going to have to live with that. I hurt somebody. If I deliberately hurt somebody, I can go like, yeah, they deserved it. If everybody gets all, we have to put you in a mental institution, that's where I feel bad. I'm not going to go blaming myself. What am I, a fucking idiot? I'm not going to blame myself for doing something that cannot be undone in any way. I wanted to do it. I can't. What am I going to go back in time and stop myself from doing what I made a sound decision in my head to do? It wasn't sound, but, if I'm aware enough, I'm not going to feel any regret about what the past me did. It's not even the past me. Whatever me that was, it's in the past. I've grown now. Every fucking second of every fucking day, some cell inside my body is reproducing. Some different hormone is going to some different cell somewhere in my body. I'm not going to be the same person 2 fucking seconds ago. I'm not going to regret anything from 10 years ago. Anyway, yeah, that's the difference between me and just a lot of other people who are like, I really regret what I've done. I don't know why they do that. Maybe they do that to get views. Maybe they do that to please people for some stupid reason. Like, when you're a guy like me and you do not appreciate human contact in any way because you're unable to do it yourself, and you do something that hurts somebody, you're like, I don't regret it. I didn't feel that person's pain. I didn't really connect with them. Which is something to say, because that guy 10 years ago was kind of my friend. Anyway, yeah, Banner Health. Yeah, eventually all the I don't regret stuff led me to Banner Health, some sort of behavioral health academy. Somewhere down somewhere here in Arizona, Phoenix. And I met some people there and I did more bad stuff. And I stole this mouse pad, and I don't regret it, because eventually you find a mouse that needs a mouse pad, and I'm using this mouse, and it needs a mouse pad. Now I don't have just one shitty mouse pad all the time. I have this one that I stole. I stole this about 4 years ago. But it's a mouse pad. Who the fuck cares? You know, their pens were a lot nicer, and I was given a pen for free. You know? Anyway, yeah, the thing is, we got a lot of weirdos there. Plenty of other weirdos. They all listen to Pearl Jam and 311 and all that shit. You know, we all listen to what we want to listen to. Stuff like that. We've got our own thing. And then I show up and I got my own thing, but, you know, the diagnoses, you know, everybody says, oh, I have schizophrenia, bipolar, Asperger's. They don't usually say they have Asperger's, but I do, because that's one of the multiple things I was diagnosed with when I was 12 goddamn years old. You know what I am now? I'm 18. So I'm obviously not the same fucking person from 6 years ago. But that 12 years old is like the peak at solidifying mental development. You know? The peak at which mental development becomes the way it's going to be for the next 6 to 12 years or so. You know? My doctor told me, I already hit that point, everything's fully developed. But anyway, yeah, one of the things that Banner Health, Behavioral Health Academy Institution place where I stole this mouse pad and I was given a pen for free, they were, aware that I had homicidal tendencies. I wasn't aware of that. They were aware, but I wasn't aware, because the doctors, they're all aware, and doctors end up showing up at the academy, and doctors are the staff members at the academy. So they all get together and trade notes on their test subjects. We were test subjects, because, the only thing I was really told was that I was wanted to be tested on, and they wanted to keep me there. And I'm glad I got out of there, because I think that was just the hellhole situation, where they take me to a different place just to seclude me so that I can seethe in this big pot of esoteric, quasi-relatable insanity. I didn't want to do that. So I got out of there and I went to a better place where I met nice people, and the staff members are not doctors. The staff members are servicemen, construction workers, and pretty much just people off the street who pat down. They basically just touch you, and then on you go. You're good. And 3 years later, they search you thoroughly enough, and they find what might be against the rules, and then you get sent to a worse place in the school. It's just in that school. Nothing really changes geographically, and the environment, the atmosphere. But yeah, all those things are bullshit once you go home. Come home from school, you're like, who gives a shit? I'm still living in this home with my parents, right? And if they're not, then they're probably not going to be treated like shit. Because of karma, how everybody's thinking, the case managers and shit like that, either a case manager or a parole officer. But yeah, that's the difference between me and you. I know that one little teeny tiny experience that taught me pretty much all this shit. This brain is filled with development that took place at that period in my life. And, not everybody gets that kind of treatment. But hey, that's what, pushed me to write a book. Books are fun to read. Everybody thinks, books, those things you buy on Amazon and they sit in your shelves and you're like, I don't want to read them. Buy more books. I don't know, I don't usually read that often anymore because I write. But yeah, that's the difference between me and you, because you're probably not a writer. My mother was an English major. My dad was a law school graduate. My mother is now a nurse. My dad is now the president of a government contracting company. But then again, they never did anything with their past degrees, My mom, kind of a secretary, not exactly a writer or anything like a professor. She could have been. And my dad, never a big-time lawyer, seat in the court, just sort of followed the law. And because he had that degree, that was really what he knew about it. I don't need the degree. I have Google. I mean, that's the difference between me and you. Everybody has Google. Whatever. No, I use Bing. Or whatever. My cousin is an idiot. He says he discovered Bin Laden before anyone else did. He says he knows about ancient Mexican pyramids that nobody else knows about. He says he was a victim of the truth serum drug, which is a real thing, but he said that it made him lose 2 straight months of sleep. I'm fucking serious. He repeated it to me 10 fucking times. He's a fucking nutcase. I just, honestly, I do. If he comes over for Christmas, I want to give him a little bit of that I want to cut you. Because, he's so goddamn manipulative. I think pain might be the only answer for him. Because he's 30 fucking years old. And he's telling me that I should get on track. Like, what He's 30 years old. The thing is, it's not just what he's talking about. He's in Mexico right now with the love of his life. I don't believe that, but anyway, he's just smoking weed, pretty much. What else is he doing? He's going for moonlit walks on the beach with the love of his life. I don't know who she is, but I know she already has kids. And those kids are about his age. And he's 30 years old, so. Anyway, yeah, he busks. He's a prestidigitator. And he wants people to believe in magic because he's a prestidigitator. Which might fall in line with he wants people to believe everything he says because he just says bullshit. I don't know. The thing is, I do want to hurt him, If people are like, when you're a little kid, you get rough with your cousins, maybe somebody loses a finger, gets a scrape, and, it's all water under the bridge. But, it's the difference between me and you. I know my cousin well enough to think sound, considerate, respectable things about him. But I really still want to hurt him a lot. Like, I want to give him pain that he will never fucking forget. You know, I want him to know that his dear cousin Christopher wants to, beat the living shit out of his stupid bullshit brain. You know? I want him to know how I feel. I want to hurt him badly. Then again, that's part of the reason Banner Health, blah, 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 that academy knew that I had homicidal tendencies. I usually don't bullshit myself about wanting to hurt people. You know? I don't connect well with other people, so I don't want to entertain myself, let alone others. If I want to hurt somebody, I'll do it, and they'll feel pain. I won't regret it, because that's insane. But then again, that's the difference between me and you. You probably connect well with other people, in which case you have no right to be depressed, because you connect well with other people. You have the ability to feel mutual love all the time because you're around people. I was around people, but I drove them away because either they're pussies or I fucked it up. I fucked it up. I could have had that guy's sister as a squeeze. But yeah, I kind of drove them all away. You know, I try to comfort myself by saying, oh, it's my Oedipal complex. It pretty much is, but that doesn't mean what everybody's like, oh, Oedipal complex. That means like, Oedipal complex. That primitive human feeling that just dominates the masculine mind and totally ruins shit for him because he ends up making decisions that are stupid, driven. Decisions that he doesn't regret because he feels he made them with a sound mind. He feels that he was sane when he made those decisions because that's what a man should be. A man should feel no regret. That's why men are good in the military. That's why men are like, Marines don't fuck around, Semper Fi. I don't know how many kills, but 24 of them were confirmed. That's what guys usually say when they're real men. They don't say, like, I appreciate my friends a lot, and I love living my life with plenty of people around me. They look around and they say, the real men, they look around and I can't stand you pussies. Everybody's a fucking pussy nowadays. And they just... that masculine mind kind of, degrades. It either degrades or fails to develop in terms of connecting with others. The masculine mind is what causes depression in its purest, most powerful forms. Vladimir Lenin was a dude. Hitler was a dude. Charles Manson... Danzig. But, yeah, that's the difference between me and you. I can, I don't just use Google or Bing. I don't just use the internet to find blah, blah, blah about blah, blah. And just watch a video on how to, replace the blinker fluid in my roller skates. Whatever the hell it is, just find something to entertain myself, that's what, porn all over the internet, that kind of thing. entertainment, Other stuff like posting really esoteric, powerful, or verging onto terrorist sort of stuff is not exactly what the internet is for, People, I listen to public radio and they go like, oh, we want to take all of those terrorist decapitation, frying live animals in pots videos off of Facebook. But then again, we don't want to restrict people's freedom of choice and expression. That's what's, everybody's a fucking pussy nowadays. Secession from the Union and 5 years of brothers killing brothers for slavery was freedom of choice and expression, Mass murder is freedom of choice and expression. If it goes far enough to show decapitation, that's illegal. That's obviously not something that we'd be okay with. We don't want just people cutting people's heads off. And if we see that on the internet, what are we going to do? Are we going to do something? No, I have to go all the way to fucking Crimea and beat some guy up and take him in for questioning. I don't want to do that, so don't post that shit on the blah, blah, blah. But then again, the only reason I'm saying that is because everybody's pussies nowadays. They can't just decide, Then again, that's the male mind. It's the men that decide, like, you know what I'm going to do today? I'm going to go out and I'm going to beat somebody up. I'm going to get drunk. I'll lie down on the floor for a while and wake up and do whatever must be done at whatever time I wake up, because I shouldn't worry about what time I'm going to wake up. I plan to go out and get drunk and fight. Get put in that cell for blah, blah, Plan to hurt somebody, hurt myself. The masculine mind is what causes that decision making, The masculine mind is what abandons sanity for impulse, That's the difference between me and you. It's like I'm just sitting here explaining that to myself on a camera, and maybe you, whoever the hell you are. But the masculine mind is what enjoys things like putting computers together. What do you see like what do you see like, I don't know, your grandma? Maybe. What does your grandma do? Like, however old she is, back in the 70s and the 80s, they had computers. When my dad was in high school, he had a table-sized 2-megabyte hard drive that he gave to a government agency. And then he went to Cal Poly and learned all the stuff that he learned at Cal Poly, which is important. And then after he got out of Cal Poly and he started working somewhere, like the DOT somewhere, his work computer was just a tower. The tower, open it up and there's the drive. And it was a 2 times the disk drive. And it was 5 megabytes, so it was more than twice the table-sized thing in that space. It was pretty cool when you think about it, Like, I have a feeling like maybe he had something to do with the reason we have M.2 drives and, terabyte thumb drives. I don't know. My cousin is the one who told me that my dad is responsible for the head of internet security knowing every fucking thing she knows about computers. I don't know who to believe, probably believe the guy whom I know is telling the truth, not my cousin. But anyway, that's the difference between me and you. I don't think of my family as, ooh, who do I trust? Who do I love more? I think of my family as, to be honest, everybody is a person. I don't cling to these people like, oh, I love you so much. You've been my entire life. Oh, thank you. Oh, I'll stick with you on this, whatever nonsense somebody tries to tell you. You stick with them because you love them. You want to stand up for them. You want to beat up the Starbucks worker who gave them what they thought they didn't order. People do that. And then there are the real people. Everybody's a real person, but then there are the more real people who are actually thinking, hey, let's be real. The people who've experienced depression long enough to understand that it's okay not to connect with people. Because look at these motherfuckers. They're all stupid. And then again, they start thinking that because they spend more time using logic in their heads. If they're depressed, secluded, masculine mind, that using logic to the point of overload and enlightenment, that they just don't feel for people. They don't. I don't feel for people. I could reach up and feel them. You're like, what is that, cashmere? There's a stain on it. I won't feel for them, unless they're going through what I went through. And that kind of thing is not always obvious. But that's the difference between me and you. The reason I went through severe depression, loneliness, isolation is the reason I don't fuck with anybody. I don't give a shit about a lot of things. Because my masculine mind caused that depression, that inability to connect with others, and then grew to not need to connect with others. And it's kind of depressing because now I'm alone and I don't usually feel like I need to not be alone. I have the internet and the porn everywhere. And I also have my own sanity. And then again, what are you going to value? It's such a thing. The value, sanity. It's important. It's so important. You need to think. You need to think clearly. It needs to be easy for you to use your brain. Then again, I'm using my brain like this because I've spent a lot of my life feeling pretty sorry for myself about how lonely I am, how unable I am to feel others' pain. Sanity over empathy. What do you choose? You want to choose the cold, crappy feeling and grow it into, hey, I hate everyone because they're stupid? Or you want to choose a nice, light, happy, joyful, I love everybody because they love me and there are things, blah, 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 I don't really understand. It's not the same. But whatever, I gotta free up storage space. So this video is going to end. I mean, that's the difference between you and me. You probably have 32 gigabytes of storage on a phone. I have it on a laptop. And now I hate myself for buying this laptop, but yeah, whatever. Hello? I need to click stop recording.